What up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Hunter here, back with another video, and today I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to be showing you how to pick a product for your online store that is going to be an absolute winner, guaranteed, if you follow this 4-step sequence, okay? So if you are looking for more e-commerce, TikTok shop, Amazon, or Shopify content, make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe below, because I am always dropping gems like this every single week. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you come back, because I promise you, you are not going to want to miss this video. I'm breaking down a method that most people don't know, and I've used this in the past 4 years to pick only winners for my brands. So I'm going to help you pick winners for your brands now going forward. So as it says, how to pick a product for your online store. Well, please tell me how. And so these 4 steps are going to show you everything you need to know to pick a winner. So we're going to start with step 1, which is finding a high pain point market. I believe in the theory that instead of just trying to chase viral products and ride this wave up and down of seasonal stores, I think you should solve a problem for a group of people, and that's how you find your product. So you find your product by finding a group of people that you want to market something to, and then solving a pain point for that group. So like I said, step 1 is going to be finding that high pain point market. Then step 2 is going to be developing a fix or a solution for that group of people. Step 3 is then going to be validating demand. So just because you solve an issue for a group of people doesn't mean it's necessarily a winner. It means it could be a winner. We then still have to validate to make sure there's search volume and actual desire for that problem. But that being said, that brings us to step 4, which is how we're going to make sure our product is different than the ones in the current market. So make sure these 4 steps are the top of your mind when we're going through this video, because we're going to be getting through each one of those, breaking them down a little further. Stick around. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss this. So getting to step 1, we're talking about identifying a high pain point market. How do you do that? Well, we need to find high pain point markets by asking a couple of questions. Those questions start out with this. We need to start by observing social behavior. So what does that mean? Well, what habits do the friends around you currently struggle with? Start very internally rather than thinking externally. So, observe your friends, your family, your people at school or work, whatever it is. Start really being intentional about watching their habits and watching what they struggle with. I promise you, not just will you find a winning product out of them, you also learn a lot more about the kind of people you're around. So make sure you're studying them, make sure you're watching what they're doing, and odds are you'll find a social behavior that you didn't notice in the past that you can kind of solve by, creating a product around it. So that's going to be option number 1 is, finding social behaviors. Option number 2 is look at growing trends. So I specifically said health trends here, but it doesn't have to be health focused. Look and listen to what's being talked about around you. So, with it's 2025, Trump was inaugurated just last month, and one of his mottos was make America healthy again. That was a motto that he came with all presidential or all his term, or his race while he was running. That's the motto he stuck by. And so I thought going into 2025 that Q1, Q2 are going to be some of the best months in health that we have, because that's so top of mind for so many people. Make America healthy again. So that's being talked about. But there's plenty of other scenarios that are things being talked about, or examples of things that are being talked about in the market. And like I said, it can vary by market you're in, location, geographical, whatever. So moving on to the next thing, which is check online complaints. You may think like, well, why am I checking online complaints, or what am I checking? But what you should be doing is you should be looking at every viral product that you see, or every ad that you get. So like, let's say you're scrolling on TikTok and you see a shop ad, like an affiliate video. Click on that video, scroll to the reviews, or go to the comment section and see what people are saying. It's really, really useful to get insight on what people do like or they don't like about products. This is something that is an overarching theme when you're building a brand, is you want to know what things that your competitors are doing wrong, because you don't want to make the same mistakes. And if it's happening to them, most likely it will happen to you if you make that same mistake. So make sure you're in tune with what's going on around you, and make sure you're really paying attention to what makes your product better or superior and what makes theirs less superior. And you're going to find that out by reading reviews. So make sure you're checking that kind of stuff. And then now, after we've identified those first few questions, here are some questions that you're going to ask within those groups of people or groups of answers you find. The first one is like, what groups of people have have the biggest strong pain point, right? Who struggles the most with a specific problem? I hope that's making sense, right? So like you want to identify people that have a dire need to fix something. So that's the first question you're going to ask. So let's say we go back here and I found a habit that one of our friends deals with. Let's say that he has a caffeine issue. He's like really downing energy drinks. And that's a habit that you've picked up on, okay? So the next thing we're going to ask, we're going to make sure that caffeine users have a pain point. And that pain point for caffeine users is that they're tired. They're so tired throughout the day that they have to supplement with caffeine. And so they do have a strong pain point. That is exactly what you're looking for when identifying a pain point. The next question you'd ask is like, what harmful behavior, habit, or exposure do they have with what they're doing? And so with people that are using a lot of caffeine, upwards of 200, 300 milligrams a day, well, for one, you have a significant heart risk. But for two, I also would say that your caffeine tolerance actually builds. So then one energy drink turns into 2 energy drinks a day, 2 energy drinks turn into 3, and so on and so forth. So that would be an internal realization that I've had just noticing and being around people that drink a lot of caffeine, is that it becomes addictive for them and it becomes a tolerance issue at that point. And so that's what I would answer for that question. And are they motivated to fix it? I would say with the energy drink and caffeine niche, yes, 1,000%. People are tired of being tired. Like people don't want to be sluggish. People also understand, this is a generalization, but I would say most people understand that you shouldn't have 3 energy drinks a day. That's just not healthy. And so they are motivated not to drink that many because it's just not healthy for you. Everyone knows that. And so that kind of wraps up this first section, right? Or I guess there's one more, but are they already spending money on solutions? Yes, people are spending money on energy drinks and so on and so forth. So that answers that example, but that's step 1. I'm going to show you some more examples of these. And, smokers, my product, if you've been following me, you understand that I have a lung detox for smokers and vapors. So like I knew this was a product that I could solve this issue for, and I practice what I preach. And so let's go some alcohol drinkers. They are having liver damage and low energy the next day. They want to detox. They want to feel better. They don't want to drink and feel bad, but they don't want to give up drinking. So it is a issue that they run into. Caffeine addicts. I brought up this one. Anxiety. They have energy crashes. They want stable energy throughout the day. I didn't bring up better sleep, but that's something they're also looking for. Sugar addicts. This is like fatty acid or fatty sugar. So like weight gain, sluggishness. They want to have weight loss. They want to have a better health, so on and so forth. So these are all problems or groups of people with a pain point and why that pain point is important. So keep this in mind as we're going through the rest of this video because it is going to be pretty pertinent. Step 2, finding the solution or fix. This is really important because just once we identify a group of people, now we need to actually fix that problem for that group of people. And so you might be thinking, well, how do I fix something that I don't know? Well, once again, guys, I got the questions for you to ask to make this so simple for you. These questions that I've written down are the actual questions that I ask myself every time I go into a product launch. So I ask myself, I'm very familiar with these questions. And so the first question we're going to be going through is what's causing our group harm? And, how are we fixing that? And so caffeine, the overuse of caffeine is causing harm to their body, to their health, to their brain, whatever it is. We want to know that, whether it's environmental, behavioral, or habitual. What's the body's natural solution to this? So if you're tired all the time, most people would say you should be sleeping more, or your brain needs more rest, or it's been overworked. Those are the 2 natural solutions to energy. Fill in the blank for what you are solving for. Next thing is going to be, how can I enhance that process? So how can I enhance either A, my sleep, or B, my energy throughout the day? And so we're solving B, the energy, and that would be through implementing a supplement, which would then turn into a daily habit that they are taking. It gets built into the routine. So really, we're hitting all 3 of these. We're being their supplement, we're building into their habit and the routine. And so we're trying to enhance that by making a product that helps with caffeine management or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kind of BSing here, but we're continuing to go. So some examples of this are smokers and lungs. We create a lung detox supplement. For alcohol drinkers, and they're damaging their liver, so we're going to create a liver detox supplement. Sugar addicts, these are like people that are drinking or eating too many fatty foods. Metabolism, that's their biggest issue. So a sugar detox formula that we would take that marketing angle is we're trying to speed up your metabolism. Caffeine addicts, the adrenal glands, we know that that's what caffeine is affecting. So we want to do a caffeine caffeine reset blend, something like that we've never seen. We want to introduce solutions to products that people didn't know they have or problems they didn't know they had. So there's a group of people that overuse caffeine. They didn't know there's a way to reset their caffeine tolerance, right? But we're going to introduce that solution to them. So that is a huge selling point for this. So on to the next one. We're going to go to step 3, which is validating demand. This is super important that you validate what you are making before you release a product. So just because we have a group of people and a product to solve a problem for that group of people doesn't mean we should bring it to market. If your niche is too small, you don't want to release a product. Now, I love small niches. I love the saying, riches are in the niches, right? It's important to understand that, but at the same time, it's also important to understand search volume in Google Trends or search trends, right? And so these are all things we'll talk about here. And how are we going to validate demand? And so the 3 fastest ways to test demand are as follows. Number 1, Google Trends and keyword research. This is what I was telling you earlier. You want to be searching for terms like liver detox, dopamine reset, sugar withdrawal, whatever your solution is on 2 platforms, Google Trends, or you could use like Helium 10 or Data Dive to do a search volume report on these terms as well. So you want to make sure that people are actually searching these up and that these terms are not just relative to your specific demographic or geographical location or niche, whatever. Make sure these are broad terms. So I like to use Data Dive for search volume, and I like to use Google Trends for obviously Google Trends. There's a couple of other ones like Ubersuggest and Ahrefs. I don't know, make sure I'm saying that right. To check search volume, that is also useful and pretty convenient. I primarily use Data Dive, Helium 10, and Google Trends, but these 2 are also great options. And step number 2 to test demand is going to be using Reddit, Quora, and Facebook groups. Now, if I was watching this video and someone just recommended for me to check Reddit, Quora, and Facebook groups, I would look at them like they're crazy. So please wipe that face off of your look. Trust me here for a second. This is worth it, okay? There are so many old people that are consuming these young products or these new TikTok shop products or whatever this is, right? This big niche that we're in right now, this wave that we're riding, okay? There are so many different demographics of people that use different or non-traditional medias for, okay? And so there's been 1,000 times I've looked up or I've been doing product research and I found a Reddit thread going so in depth about solutions and products that they were looking for. And then sure enough, I found someone plug a product and it like directly correlated to the growth of the product. So like an example of this is Reddit Stop Drinking, as people are looking for a liver detox after quitting alcohol. So like you just subtly plug that product or be known as the product that gets plugged in that Reddit thread, and your sales will dramatically increase due to this third-party traffic and just due to like the relevance that you have to that product and the amount of people that are gonna be sending it to friends and family and whatever. Super important you're doing this. The same goes for Quora threads and Facebook groups. Facebook groups is huge for this. So like look up, like if you're doing a drinking product, look up like A groups or like stop drinking groups or whatever, and that'll help with your product validation and research of things. So make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're asking around, being involved, and not just trying to plug a product. Step number 3 is competitor research, okay? Just because you've solved the problem for the group of people doesn't mean you're the first to market either. So make sure that you're going on Amazon, TikTok, Google. Make sure you're looking up this product and seeing what pops up. So if you're looking up a lung detox and there's 30 other lung detoxes and it looks really competitive and you can see that you don't really have a way to make yourself better, then don't go in that niche. Or what also happens is maybe if you are in a niche that isn't tapped, maybe there's one product on that niche or in that group, but the reviews are terrible. Well, go read those reviews, see what's wrong in the product, and then improve on it, make the better form factor, do whatever you have to do to improve on the product and release that product. That's a great sign if you're seeing lots of like bad reviews on one product, because it means people hated the product enough to leave the review, which means they're in desire for a better product. So keep that in mind when you're going and doing your competition research. So this last part, step number 4, is gonna be product creation and positioning. So this is like final step. What are we doing before we like validate this? And what this means is like, now that we have our product, we know there's competition in it, but not too much competition. How do we stand out in this very saturated or overcrowded market? And what we're going to do is a couple different things. One, we're going to look for a unique angle. So if a liver detox already exists, then we're going to make a post-alcohol recovery drink or gummy or capsule or whatever it is that's going to help them get over their hangover, right? Or something they take during while they're drinking that stops them from getting a hangover the next day. These are all terms and things that we need to be including or thinking about when launching a product and making sure that we're not just duplicating a product that already exists and you're just trying to beat them on branding, because odds are it's not going to work. Step number 2, or another option, is delivery format. So powders, capsules, gummies, teas, guides, or kits are all examples of something that you can do to just slightly change or improve on a product, and that could make all the difference. So if everyone's complaining about capsules, they taste nasty, they don't like doing this, that makes their breath stink, whatever, we'll make a powder or a gummy that's easier for them to take. And this is honestly the easiest way to get into a market fast and just start trying. Next thing is going to be science-backed. We want to make sure whatever you're releasing is indeed actually works. Make sure when you're releasing a product that you have all the documents to support your formula. The research, there's going to be hundreds of documents. Make sure you use ChatGPT for stuff like this. Get your sources. Make sure you are science-backed and you're not just saying something works. This is super important. I see a lot of people skip on this step and just bring a product to market that really doesn't solve a problem, and they get stuck and kind of get called out and get bottlenecked or limited in the future. So make sure you're science-backed. And the last one, this is the most important one in my opinion, is making sure you're virality-based. This is honestly the biggest gem in this video that I'll give you. And so whoever stayed to the very end, please make sure you comment virality and I'll know you're a real one. But this is by far the best part of this video. When I'm going into launching a product, I'm not gatekeeping here. I'm just so excited. I'm fixing to share this, okay? When I'm going to launch a new product, I am always thinking about the virality strategy that I have going into this and what ingredients am I going to use to play onto for TikTok and everything else. And so that being said, I'm trying to include ingredients that have all of the buzz and all of like the information around them. So like a good example of that is like oil of oregano. There's a podcast clip where there's a guest on Joe Rogan and he's talking about how this oil of oregano has just changed his life and like made him so much more healthier. I don't know really what it is, but they definitely launched that product because of that clip. So make sure you're thinking about these kind of things. You're doing research on these ingredients, making sure they're applicable to your product, including those and using that as a marketing angle. So try to reverse engineer a viral product is super, super useful and really big brain strategy because it puts you ahead of so many other people and it gives your affiliates and your team a huge library to work off of if you can think about that forward rather than post. So guys, I really hope this whole video is helpful for you. This is like my actual blueprint on how I actually launch a product and I'm thinking about like product research and everything else. I do have a video on how I use Calidata to kind of verify a lot of the stuff that I just went through with you. So if you are interested in that video, I'll go ahead and link that here as well. But guys, hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. If y'all need anything else and y'all want to see more videos like this, comment some more video ideas and I'll be making those here shortly. But if y'all did make it this far, thank you. It means so much. Hopefully y'all got great value out of this video and I'll see you next time. Peace.